is flicked aside, and Grimlock goes to find the stasis pods. Russell helps fix it and pretends Optimus Prime is coming, scaring Grimlock into taking Underbite away. The Autobots discuss Grimlock's behavior. Strongarm thinks he's always been bad, Sideswipe thinks he was forced, and Russell notices he wasn't in control. Fix-It can't track Grimlock due to console damage, so Russell guesses he's headed for Crown River Dam. Following Grimlock's footprints, the team steps on a laser tripwire, creating ice and sending Bumblebee and Sideswipe sliding. Narrowly avoiding the cliff, Strongarm finds a cryo-inducer from the stasis pod Grimlock took, and realizes Grimlock left a trap for the Autobots. At the scrapyard, Fix-It struggles to repair the comms, and ends up playing music. Grimlock reaches the dam with his cargo and meets Steeljaw, who is disappointed that Grimlock only has one pod. When the other Autobots arrive, Bumblebee fights Steeljaw while Sideswipe tries to reason with Grimlock. Grimlock flings a cable, hitting Strongarm into Bumblebee and Steeljaw. Sideswipe confronts Steeljaw about what he did to Grimlock, and while they fight, Grimlock attacks Bumblebee and Strongarm. This keeps the Autobots busy, allowing Steeljaw to steal Underbite's stasis pod. The trio finally subdues Grimlock using Sideswipe as a distraction, and Cable's Fix-It informs them that a cyber-tick, Minitron, was controlling Grimlock. Minitron jumps between Bumblebee, Strongarm, and Sideswipe before heading to Grimlock, who knocks him out without squishing him. Back at the scrapyard, Minitron is secured in a stasis pod, and Grimlock proudly receives his Autobot insignia. Strongarm drives alone down a desert road on a mission, thinking about a possible promotion. Fix-It contacts her for a status report, but is distracted when Denny passes by with spark plugs. Strongarm spots a dust plume. It's Bumblebee, who has followed her. She worries he doesn't trust her, and he agrees to leave her to the mission. Meanwhile, Fix-It repairs Sideswipe, and Grimlock helps Denny out from under some stasis pods. In the jungle, Strongarm closes in on a Decepticon signal and again finds Bumblebee observing. Back at the scrapyard, Denny argues with Fix-It over a Cybertronian blaster, which explodes and leaves them blackened. Strongarm and Bumblebee find a Decepticon demanding the location of the lost city of Doradus. The pair chase him, but he jumps a chasm and escapes. Fix-It identifies him as Springload and plans to send the team, but Strongarm secretly claims she's caught him. Meanwhile, Denny and Fix-It fight over the Decepticon hunter, which Fix-It interrupts by announcing he will rearrange the scrapyard using Cybertronian principles. Bumblebee and Strongarm track Springload into a temple, and Bumblebee reluctantly goes inside to try to capture him. Meanwhile, Russell finds Denny rewiring the command center, while Grimlock and Sideswipe discover their equipment has been rearranged by either Fix-It or Denny. The pair argue as they try to undo each other's work, and Russell comes up with an idea. Inside the temple, Springload puzzles over the markings, and Strongarm tries to grab him, only to find his armor coated in acid. The temple starts collapsing, forcing them to blast a hole in the wall to escape. Strongarm admits she told Fix-It not to send the team and asks for one last chance to finish the mission. Back at the scrapyard, Denny and Fix-It work together to disarm the noisy Decepticon hunter. Meanwhile, Bumblebee and Strongarm catch up with Springload again. Strongarm pretends to be a spirit, scaring him, while Bumblebee traps him in a casket. With Springload captured, Bumblebee congratulates Strongarm on completing her first solo mission. At a construction site in Crown City, a worker uncovers an Energon cube, but the ground collapses. The cube is taken by a robotic claw, and the excavator falls into the hole. That night at the scrapyard, Russell and the Autobots watch a motorcycle show. Sideswipe tries to explain the gang's jackets to Fix-It, but leaves frustrated. Wandering around, he spots another bot and is knocked over, later recognized by Bumblebee as Jazz, sent from Cybertron to check the Alchemore distress call. Jazz offers to take them back to Cybertron, but Bumblebee reminds him they still have Decepticons to capture. Suddenly, a Decepticon bursts from the ground. Fix-It identifies it as Ped, but Sideswipe attacks and is zapped by his stinging mandibles. Ped escapes with some Energon, forcing the Autobots to split up to chase him. Bumblebee and Strongarm follow Ped through tunnels, realizing his digging is causing the ground under Crown City to collapse. Bumblebee props up the collapsing roof, while Strongarm reinforces it with rocks, but Ped attacks Bumblebee. Strongarm can't help as she must hold up the ceiling. Ped grabs Bumblebee, but a comm from Jazz alerts him that Jazz and Sideswipe have found Ped's energon stash. Ped drops Bumblebee and rushes to secure it. Sideswipe tries to tackle him, but is zapped again. Jazz distracts Ped, pretending he could be a second in command. While learning that Ped is hoarding energon to trade with other Decepticons, Jazz uses a burst of sound and light to strike Ped, causing the roof to cave in. Ped escapes with the energon while Jazz and Sideswipe dig out back at the scrapyard. The Autobots set a trap using an open stasis pod hidden among energon cubes. At night, Ped investigates, but his cleverness causes the train car they're on to fall into a pit. He hesitates, giving Denny time to strike him with a construction vehicle. In the pit, the Autobots stack up, and Sideswipe jumps between them to keep Ped busy, while Denny uses an electromagnet to pull them out. Jazz is zapped by Ped, but joins Sideswipe to lure the Decepticon into the stasis pod. Ped is trapped, and Bumblebee activates the pod. By morning, Denny rescues Strongarm. Though Grimlock remains stranded, Jazz assures the team he will handle things with the Council on Cybertron and promises to return. Quillfire races through a car park, firing quills at Grimlock, who blocks them with a car while the other Autobots speed past. Bumblebee orders them to split up, but in a warehouse, Quillfire surrounds them and fires more quills. Bumblebee knocks Grimlock out of the way, but both are down as Quillfire carves his signature into a container and escapes. Bumblebee collapses again, a quill embedded in him. Back at the scrapyard, Fix-It helps Strongarm remove the quill and notes the toxins are unpredictable. Leaving Bumblebee's behavior uncertain, the Minicon determines they must wait for it to wear off. Meanwhile, Bumblebee regains consciousness, and regressing in maturity causes chaos with pranks. The Autobots search for him, but Grimlock and Sideswipe fall victim to his antics. That night, Quillfire tries to liberate carnival elephants, only to trigger a stampede. Strongarm gets stuck in rubber cement, and, with Grimlock's help, sets off to track Quillfire, leaving Sideswipe to supervise Bumblebee. Russell and Sideswipe try to keep Bumblebee still by having him watch television, but he loses interest when a commercial comes on. Hearing Quillfire is at the carnival, Bumblebee dashes off before they return. At the carnival, Strongarm and Grimlock plan to deal with the police cars when Bumblebee arrives. Strongarm distracts the officers with a fake emergency, while Bumblebee and Grimlock handle the stampeding elephants. Fix-It alerts them that Quillfire is nearby, but Bumblebee accidentally powers up the carnival rides, using Dodgems as skates. Strongarm and Grimlock are caught in a ride triggered by Quillfire, who then hides in a bouncy tent. Bumblebee joins, bouncing Quillfire into the air, and Strongarm stops the ride, helping track Bumblebee to the tent. Quillfire passes out after bouncing into his own quills. By morning, Bumblebee is back to normal, and Quillfire is secured in a stasis pod, with Bumblebee thanking Strongarm for her help. Denny shows off his disguises, impressing Grimlock, but then surprises Russell by saying he won't involve him in future missions, citing child endangerment. Before they can talk further, Fix-It alerts the team to two Cybertronian spacecraft landing at a nearby hunting lodge. Bumblebee tells Grimlock to stay put, while he, Strongarm, Sideswipe, and Denny approach the lodge, which appears deserted. Denny barely takes cover as Fracture emerges, followed by Drift. Both launch their Minicons, and Fracture declares his bounty intentions. The Decepticon gains the upper hand until Bumblebee recognizes Drift. With backup from the Autobots, Drift and Bumblebee force Fracture's retreat. Drift reveals he owes Bumblebee a life debt and will protect him. Meanwhile, Fracture spies on the Autobots via camera microdrones aboard his ship.
This will be a day to remember.
Back at the scrapyard, Drift is shocked by the lack of defenses, while Russell shows Jetstorm and Slipstream the command center. As the Autobots start barricading, Fix-It detects life signals, prompting investigations that lead to traps and the power going out, leaving Denny struggling to start the backup generator when Fracture emerges from a ground bridge. Fracture tases Sideswipe and orders his Minicons to grab Denny. Russell arrives just as the Decepticons vanish through the ground bridge with their captives. Bumblebee, Drift, and Russell regroup at the command center, and Bumblebee insists on rescuing everyone, but Drift prefers to stay put, honoring his life debt to protect Bee. Fracture reappears via ground bridge, offering to return the prisoners if Bumblebee surrenders. Bumblebee refuses and charges, but is blinded by flashes. Drift and Fracture clash while Arizor threatens Russell and Fix-It, prompting Jetstorm to help them. Russell recalls his video game strategy and attempts to bluff Fracture with a fake alien fleet. The plan backfires when a game over reveals the bluff and Fracture's minicons seize Russell and Fix-It. Drift's hijacked ship arrives with reinforcements, forcing Fracture to flee. Jetstorm and Slipstream crash the ship, the ground bridge remains functional, and Denny allows Russell to join future missions. Bumblebee tries to focus as his team bickers, but Fix-It interrupts with news of 4 Decepticon signals ending the meeting. The Autobots set out, though Sideswipe and Strongarm bicker en route. They discover several stasis pods, all broken open from the inside.
Inside. Violently.
Meanwhile, in the realm of the Primes, Optimus Prime faces Micronus, who warns that his greatest test awaits on Earth and presents a hill to climb. Optimus notices it's more complicated when Micronus shows humans and a robot adversary approaching. On Earth, Bumblebee has Fix-It check the Alchemore prisoner manifest, identifying Malador's Skunkticon team. Following tracks north, Grimlock leads the group to the automated dam. Optimus protects humans from 4 incoming balls, which transform into minicons and attack. Losing his prime Decepticon hunter, he struggles to defend them. Inside the dam, the Autobots are ambushed by the Skunkticons, who release toxin, incapacitating the team. Grimlock is taken hostage in a cargo lift, while Optimus fights to regain control, impales a minicon, and rescues a human, pleading with Micronus for guidance. Bumblebee, Strongarm, and Sideswipe recover from the Skunkticon toxin, with Bumblebee keeping the others from bickering. Following Grimlock's tail, they reach the wrecked cargo lift and manually pull it up. On the upper level, Strongarm and Sideswipe continue their feud until Malador and the Skunkticons arrive with Grimlock, threatening him. Hearing Bumblebee, Grimlock jumps up, accidentally knocking over the Decepticons, and the Autobots spring into action. Amid the chaos, Grimlock damages the dam controls, triggering an emergency flood alarm. Malador throws Bumblebee, while Strongarm and Sideswipe are dosed with toxin as the Skunkticons flee. In the realm of the Primes, Optimus struggles to protect the humans while Micronus remains impassive. The humans vanish, revealing the test was an illusion, and Optimus powers up the Prime Decepticon hunter to take out the remaining foes. Meanwhile, Bumblebee leads his team through a tunnel, cutting off the Skunkticons and incapacitating them, restoring control and safety. A pair of street racers speed along Crown City's drainage canal, but the lead driver slams on the brakes after spotting a scuttling shape. As they exit their cars, a massive claw snatches one vehicle and drags it into a nearby drain, leaving the drivers to flee in the other car. The next day, Strongarm sneaks back into the scrapyard but is caught by Sideswipe, who seizes the chance to blackmail her for a little fun. Bumblebee, pacing nervously at the command center, admits he's on edge due to the lack of Decepticon activity, while Denny and Fix-It reveal they've made 2 duplicate Decepticon hunters. The alarm soon signals a Decepticon in the flood drains, and the Autobots head out. Splitting up, they track a crab-like Decepticon through the tunnels. After a tense chase, Sideswipe cuts him off, but the bot breaks pipes, unleashing a torrent that washes the team into the river. The Decepticon emerges into Steeljaw's path and is identified by Fix-It as the snitch and blackmailer Clampdown. Steeljaw and Clampdown reach the Decepticon hideout, where Fracture and Underbite are waiting. Thunderhoof arrives and immediately recognizes Clampdown as the con who got him arrested. Reigniting old anger, Clampdown flees, and later Strongarm spots him climbing onto a garbage barge. The Autobots track him to the garbage tip and ambush him, but other Decepticons arrive, sparking a chaotic battle. Sideswipe is waylaid by Fracture, Steeljaw tosses Bumblebee into a compactor, Grimlock neutralizes Underbite, Strongarm cuffs Dive Bomb and Aerozor, and Sideswipe takes out Fracture, Thunderhoof, and Clampdown Collide and are knocked out, while Bumblebee also defeats Steeljaw. The Decepticons are secured for now. Steeljaw escapes, causing a garbage barge to drift toward a tour boat. The Autobots pull it to safety. Back at the hideout,